Hey guys, today I want to take a look at the Dark Gera, or I would say the Summoners War version Valdemar. Like, he looks so good. Is it like Voldemort? He's an HP type character that can bomb, and for the longest time, people really hate this character because his bomb damage did not get buffed by the passive, because the passive increased the damage output, aka the skill 1 actual attack damage or the skill 2, like the actual damage. But then nobody built this guy to do actual damage. It's either he's gonna be a tanky debuffer or a bomber. But now his passive will increase his attack power up to 300%, and as an HP type character who can be built tanky and high attack at the same time, that is amazing because he can now actually do good bomb damage. And also, the more buff you have, the higher activation rate you have for your debuff. They buff him over time so that he can land bomb pretty consistently. However, the stun is not. But with the buff, the stun is going to happen rather frequently as well if you have good accuracy. Before we give him a try, I want to give you guys like a benchmark. So John is one of my most favorite bomber in the game because the raw bomb damage is really good with his character. So we're using a very standard bomb build right here with Violent Focus, or you can run Violent Will for less accuracy, but you're on Will. And we have some bomb damage in the artifact as well. We're going to be using this character with Valdemar because she buffed 3 buff, which is the perfect amount of buff for Valdemar. Unless you put Shield Rune on your Valdemar, that's gonna be a different story. I also really like John because John can have a 1-turn bomb and increase cooldown time so that the potential cleanser of the enemy cannot cleanse the bomb on the other target. And Valdemar can provide stun, which is very, very good as well. So a layer of CC with your bomb. Alright, now let's take a look at the bomb damage. 33,000 bomb damage. Not too bad. Not like mind-blowing, but not too bad. So now I'm going to take that exact rune set and put it onto Valdemar. I'm going to also give Valdemar bomb damage in the artifact so we can increase his damage even further. So this is going to be a decent build. To get 3 buff on Valdemar, you can either go with a shield set on your teammates and then buff attack and other thing, or you can go with this character which can provide him with 3 buff immediately and he can max out his damage in the bomb. I think for best result, you want to pair him with a strip unit as well. So Chiwu or more or whatever strip that you have so that you can take away the potential weird rune on the enemy. And then you go in with Valdemar. Imagine every hit can bomb though. That'd be insane. So here we go. We have bomb and stun on the enemy. We missed 1 bomb, but that is pretty much how you would expect a bomber to work. You would miss a bomb here and there. And he will still have a lot of attack power because now he's maxed out on his skill 1 damage with the attack scaling as well. So not too shabby on a skill 1 damage, I would say. Like, not the best because you're not going to crit, but not too bad. Alright, now we're going to witness some crazy bomb damage on the other 2 character. But there's a small problem. He loses health whenever he take a turn with 3 buff on himself. That is why pairing him with a healer like this is going to be great to top him off once again. 42k! But because we are fighting in the guild content section, I think we do have like guild extra attack power, like 20% over here. So you would reduce the bomb damage down by a little bit. I would say comparable to John damage outside of guild content. If I bring in John here, it's going to be a different story. Okay, let's check out the damage from John in guild content. Could be way better. I think that was less than Valdemar can do. Valdemar did a bit more damage than John overall, and Valdemar comes with a stun, but John has a lot of more stuff over Valdemar, which is the cooldown reduction. Like, this is extremely good because it makes the skill 3 comes back very, very fast, and it blocks enemy from reviving or cleansing and all the fun stuff in between. So I think it's like a trade-off between Valdemar and John. And because Bomb doesn't really care about element, so John is kind of an LD5 as well. Kinda, okay? But Valdemar has higher HP stat, which means Valdemar can be tankier in a way so that you can survive better when you're using a bomb team. Or it's just going to be another option. So I think Valdemar is going to be a very great character to bring against turn 2 defense team that are tanky, slow, because you can go first and start bombing them and putting stun on them. I would say if you can pair any increased cooldown time on your team, that's going to be great because stun is not a real debuff, right? You can stun them, they proc out a stun, it's kind of over. And also, oh, I put a shield set on my Bastet, but he consumed the shield. So now you get, if you put will on Valdemar, I think it's going to be better because you cannot consume the will, right? So we have a bit less damage here with the bomb and we missed the stun, as you can see right there, because the horse is very, very RNG. So you're never really guaranteed to land everything all the time, which can be, oh, you see that? He proc out of the bomb and he resists the stun. So I think Valdemar is great when everything works out, but there's going to be a lot of like frustrating moment with this character that would lead you to a place where you don't want to be, okay? Because resistance is a very, very popular thing in this game, and it doesn't matter what kind of accuracy you have, because this team I'm fighting, I checked their rune because it belongs to my guilty. They have like 15% resist, right? But it doesn't matter. The moment you miss bomb or you miss stun, and they can cut in between and cleanse and heal, that can be quite a problem for your Valdemar team. So when you run bomb team, just remind yourself every time that it is never going to work out all the time. Coming from some guy that played Sierra Gianna for like 5 years. He also doesn't awaken into accuracy, making runing him a little bit harder than someone that awaken into accuracy. So you gotta find like accuracy substat in your rune to stick with, let's say, the triple attack percent build, or if you replace one with HP percent, you're still gonna find like accuracy substat in your rune and maybe get a bit more accuracy in the artifact. Like let's say this one has skill 1 accuracy, which is pretty bad. However, you can try to find, let's say, bomb damage and skill 2 accuracy. I do have one right here, but it's gonna be like HP percent main stat, right? So you're gonna make some sacrifices here and there to get the desired build for this character. So I think a great setup for Valdemar is gonna be with Jogun, because Jogun can buff attack power and strip at the same time. And you want a shield set over there so you can provide Valdemar with 2 different buffs. And Valdemar himself should be on Will Rune so that he can provide himself with another buff to maximize the damage output. But we saw earlier, he can consume the shield buff away. So I'm going to put another shield set on Sierra so that the shield buff is going to stay on Valdemar. All right, let's try to disappoint ourselves with a bit of bomb debuff. We're going to gain turn with 2 shield set. The shield is still gone. So I think either you go in with like a very heavy buffer, or shield rune will not really matter too much, to be honest with you guys. So we're gonna bomb. This is not gonna be maximized bomb damage, but it is gonna be something. We land 3 bomb and 3 stun. Very solid outcome for Valdemar. And then you have another bomber to land another bomb, and you start going in with big damage. All right, not too shabby. 33k without 1 extra buff. I would say with 1 more buff and a typical build, you do about 30k bomb damage. Not too bad. Not too mind-blowing. You know, I think using John is also pretty good, because when you detonate in the first turn, you stun them anyway. So if you use Valdemar with Sierra, you kind of defeat the purpose of having a stun in there. But an extra stun is always great. A plan B is always great for someone as well. Now we're going to check out some actual RTA Valdemar footage, because in real life, in RTA, you cannot get attack buff all the time. You can't get like all the super buff all the time. But in this one, we see that Valdemar is being drafted with Laura, who can buff him with defense and speed. So we gain attack buff together with the defense buff and speed buff. So we're going to start off with Laura dropping the heat on the enemy team, even though there's a Ragnar over there. Maybe he's going to gain enough turn to cut in between. All right, Shatter, not looking too good for Valdemar at the moment. She went for the stun. Oh, she want to stun this character because this character is going to seal your thing away and Valdemar's going to drop the bomb. Double resist on this character, but stun everybody else. Maybe he doesn't have like max accuracy because Valdemar doesn't awaken into accuracy. So landing the bomb is not going to be too easy. I think that Nezuko is probably max res as well, which is under the problem. But Laura is going to take care of the Nezuko cleanse. And if they violent proc, they're going to take full bomb damage. Especially the Ragdoll is going to take bomb damage right now. So this is no attack buff Valdemar. Let's see what kind of damage we are looking at. Almost killing the Ragdoll. Not like super impressive. And when the bomb is on cooldown, he doesn't really provide any value for the team per se, right? Like he's gonna do attack break in skill 1, and we all know attack break is not gonna be a big deal. However, the Irene is doing very well. The Laura is doing very well as well. No stun. Oh, there's a stun of Valdemar right there. So I think if you miss the first turn big bomb damage, he's gonna be useless for a long time because I don't think his skill 1 damage output is something that you can really write home about, right? However, the Laura and the Irene is doing so well that it makes Valdemar looks pretty good, right? So Laura's going to take down the entire enemy team. together with a bomb damage from Valdemar, and Valdemar got a fat W right there. This time around, we're going to be seeing a Ciara together with Valdemar, so a bit more realistic as well, and we don't have any buffer on the side of Valdemar, and we see a classic Bruiser comp setup over there with Tartarus. We have the Jogan right there, but obviously Jogan's going to stay away. And we have Ciara and Valdemar. We do have Wheel Rune and Valdemar, so that wheel buff right there is going to buff his attack power by 100%, which is not bad. And now we can see 4 bombs on the entire enemy team, except for on Juno. Juno going to gain a turn between. However, we're going to see the bomb damage, no detonation because you don't have to, because of the stun already exists on the entire enemy team. That was a beautiful bomb kill on the Villager, because Villager is usually built with high defense, so 1 buff from Valdemar was more than enough. And now he's going to do skill 1. I would say decent damage. Bomb damage wasn't crazy, but the thing about bomb is that it can potentially stun the enemy unit as well, so that's another layer of control on the bomb unit. Here we're going to have the most broken, or I should say the most OG bomb combo. So we have Gianna, Valdemar, and Ciara on this side. So very heavy LD abuse. We have the Heigang over there, which is going to get banned because Heigang counter both Laura and Gianna decently well. So we're going to go in with Laura buffing Valdemar. You can see that Valdemar now have 3 buff, which means he's maxed out on the extra bomb damage. And look at Laura damage on the entire enemy team. That is absolutely crazy work. Bomb from Gianna, big stun from Gianna, full team stun, but that will take away the value of Valdemar stun pretty much. Oh, missed bomb from the Ciara, classic right there. Valdemar going in, and we land a couple bomb over there as well. Big cleanse from the unit that was dead. So I think if you have like a very strong turn run setup, Valdemar is just going to make it even stronger. But nowadays, there are many units that can counter stun, so I'm not sure if it's going to be meta in the end game scene of PvP. But if you're not like in the end game top 1000 whatever RTA, I think Valdemar is going to be a very fun character to play with. It's just that if you miss turn 1, then it's going to be a long downtime in between. And he doesn't have any way to sort of protect himself. He has a way to kind of destroy his own HP even faster if you buff him with too much. So just pray to good RNG that you land all your bomb. If not, you're going to be in deep trouble, right? However, bomb damage looking pretty good even without attack buff. However, let's start showing some losses as well, because you can never win every game with a bomber, right? So here we have a very classic bomb setup once again, but without the LD5. We have 2 strip, attack buff, and we have Ciara. Valdemar get to stay, Ciara is gonna go away. So over there we have a Heigang situation, and here we have Jogan to kind of soft counter Heigang. I would say I would seal the mouse, because he can probably cut in between and do nasty thing to my Valdemar. But here we go, attack buff and attack buff boost. And because this character has no way to protect himself, and in the real world, Heigang exists. And yup, that is not looking so hot. Without the attack buff, and without any way to sort of protect himself. So I think that was a misplay right there. I think if you seal the mouse, maybe it's gonna work a little bit better. However, because of Heigang existence, you don't really go first against Heigang. So he get pretty much shit on by the rest of the team. Dark Demon's gonna make light work of everybody else, and the Valdemar team didn't win. Here you're gonna see another Valdemar going first in a Laura situation together with Jogan, but Jogan is gonna get banned out because Jogan is just very, very good countering OD turn 2 player. So Valdemar together with Maximilian and Laura. But over here we have a very classic turn 2 setup together with the good old Fire Megumi. So we go in with the Laura, dropping some fat dookie on the enemy, missing 1 character. Oh, missing the most important character. Even with a violent proc. Yeah. That's pretty much it, huh? That is pretty much it. So the enemy team has a very fast Chandra that just make fun of the Laura team. Wow, that was very fast. Another situation where it's the same setup, but this time... Oh, that's the problem, right? You have a very fast stripper. You have a very fast Chandra. So if this stripper move and the Chandra cut in between, and there's no way for your team to move, then the Villager is going to come in between. So you can see right here is the classic sort of speed tuning situation in the game when you have a very strong LD5 strip, but your team is just not very fast. And if he's tuned his team a bit better, and there are things moving after Laura, maybe it could have been a different story. But unfortunately, the Chandra cut in between and there's nothing he can do about it. All right, for this one, we have a Valdemar solo carry damage dealer against enemy team that can be countered by just stunning them, potentially. So here we go. We have 1 buff on Valdemar, 2 buff on Valdemar, which mean he should be doing very good bomb damage and stun the entire enemy team. And as you can see, the lack of accuracy kind of show because there's no bomb on... Unfortunately, right? And without attack buff, can that bomb really hurt a Shower, a very tanky HP Bruiser? And not only that, we have other character gunning for Valdemar as well. So first gonna be Chandra going straight into, the Leica going straight into the Chandra. We have Gio trying to keep the team together. And I wish Valdemar has some way of reducing his own cooldown or maybe getting some sort of attack bar, because you can see that the downtime between is so low, the bomb will not be a guaranteed kill on the other target. And I think when John increased cooldown time plus the bomb stun is a much better combination of control, and because John can get back the cooldown very fast, it feels like John is a much more oppressive damage dealer. And as you can see, Valdemar takes so long to get the damage back. It's just not very realistic in an RTA situation, unless you are pairing Valdemar with like other crazy support. I would say the Twin Angel for cooldown reduction, the Dark Nezuko for cooldown reduction. Any sort of cooldown reduction, I think is going to be great, like Ganymede as well. It's going to be a great combination with Valdemar, instead of using him as a solo damage dealer without any way of reducing his cooldown, because, once again, it takes too fucking long to get the bomb back, right? So, I don't think he works really well in the Bruiser situation, like how you think he would, because he's an HP character. He definitely needs a lot of support to make him work well, because not... then you can see that without the buff stacking, without the support, his bomb damage is not too impressive. But maybe this match, he's kind of turning the game around because of the control that he's doing on the enemy team. But because he has no way to sort of protect himself, he can drop really quickly. But it looks like he's winning though. Maybe he's winning for this one. Okay, he's kind of dead. And the bomb is not going to kill all of them, unfortunately. Almost though. Almost. Okay, almost. I think if we pair with like the Water Twin Angel instead of Chandra, that could be so much better. For this one, we have a turn 1 situation against Valdemar with Ciara and another bomb character. So there's so many bomber in the game at the moment. So we have the Fire Twin Angel, Water Twin Angel over there, classic combo, taking away the support capability of the Fire Puppet. So no bomb, no strip, no nothing, and no beautiful silence or whatever going on to the Tian Lang as well. Unfortunately, the immunity is going to go up, and that hard counter the bomb squad, and the turn 1 capability of the Twin Angel hard counter the strip unit as well. No Oblivion coming out. No. Oh, that's a very strong violent. Double resist on the horse. What the fuck does Valdemar awaken into? Why is he so hard to build? And the moment you miss bomb, you kind of fucked. You just kind of fucked. This guy's spamming sleeping emote to my friend over there. I mean, not friend, the other guy. Feels bad, man. It just feels bad. Spamming emote. Classic gaming moment. What is he awaken into? Power up charge cut. Wait, what the fuck? No, take this away and give him accuracy awakening. He doesn't need that. Nah, he definitely doesn't need the extend debuff, man. 15%? Bro, really? Really now? Like, I guess he can detonate his bomb on his own, but like, I'd rather him have accuracy awakening. I think that would be very, very cool. Anyway, overall, I think Valdemar is a very fun character to play with. Can be kind of frustrating because you are relying on debuff to do damage, and you're relying on your teammate to buff you as well because he doesn't buff himself, right? So he's a very dependent kind of character on other things to happen in his favor, and not like a Sonya, go in one shot, you win the game kind of thing, right? Can be very fun to play. Can be frustrating when he missed the bomb and all that good stuff. But overall, this is the change that I want to see for character that make the passive make sense, right? And maybe change the awakening. That'd be great. But anyway, guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.